Da, da, da. Woo! Hey, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to F.A.W.B. It stands for Forever White Belt, and I am your host, Naughty Nate. Man, I have a wonderful episode for you guys today. A guest all the way from Miami, Florida, has joined me. Just a heads up. But before we get to that, guys, I just want to make a couple announcements. First, the show is looking for sponsors. So if you're a gym owner, a promoter, and promoting events, martial art events, if you're a small business out there, if you're a big business out there, and you would like to partner with the show, reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk with you. We can negotiate, work something out. Or if you're just a fan of the show and you'd like to help support it, subscribe to the Facebook, guys. It's only 99 cents a month. And all that helps support the show. We get some really cool stuff that we got like hanging on the walls back here. All that's 99 cents. So, help me out here, guys. Anyways, like I said, a very special guest today. He's been on Celebrity Boxing. Let's see. He's an ambassador for Cookies. He's had an amazing weight loss journey and an amazing lifelong journey. Let's invite him to the show right now, Mr. Stoner Bro Flex. What's up, bro?
Yo, what is going on, Naughty Nate?
Oh, just hanging out, man. How's your Saturday going?
Saturday's going good right now. As you can see, I'm outside Miami. Beautiful day today, a little chillier, but nowhere as cold as Gig Harbor. Yeah. Gig Harbor, Washington. So
yeah, I was gonna say, what's the chilly like over there? Is that like 70 some degrees or something like that?
We're a little lower today. We're down in the late 60s, but when you have that Florida blood in you, man, anything under 70 is freezing.
That's fair enough, bro. Have you always been from Florida? You grew up on the East Coast?
No, I am originally from New Jersey. Shout out to all my people from New Jersey watching. Philadelphia area, go Eagles. But I've been down in Florida now for 10 years, going on my 10th year.
Man, hey, a decade there. I would say that you're a resident for sure.
This is definitely my home. So
hell yeah, and you've traveled all the way from the East Coast all the way across the United States to the other corner,
yes,
in Washington State to get a beef match in. But before we get to that beef match, which was amazing, which I ref, by the way, I was involved in. Thank you for that. Let's get a little background on you, some origin story. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and what led you to martial arts and the impact it's had on your life.
Oh man, a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to take it all the way back, but I'm almost 50 years old. I've been on this planet for a long time now. But I come from New Jersey, South Jersey, and that's where I got my humble beginnings. Born and raised, and I had a tough life growing up. I didn't have the easiest of lives. I grew up with an alcoholic father. I went through a lot of abuse and a lot of tough times. So we've come a long way in this lifetime, Nate.
Yeah. I feel you there, man. I have a similar story, man. Did that kind of like make you more of an aggressive person, you feel, or did it kind of make you feel like you're bullied and give you a little bit of insecurity? Because I know it kind of goes hand in hand. You either get really abusive or you start getting like really skittish.
It's a little bit of mixture of both, honestly, I got bullied a lot growing up. I was overweight as a kid. So, I got picked on a lot for that. The neighborhood that I lived in, I'm of mixed race, so the area that I lived in, I got picked on a lot. I didn't look the same as everybody else. So and it was a combination, and then my father being abusive. You know how that cycle goes. Coming home late from the bar, beating on you and stuff like that. That puts a certain kind of aggression in you as well. So.
So did that lead you to finding an outlet in martial arts, or what brought you to martial arts?
All right. So what brought me to martial arts, though, as growing up, I had a lot of issues with anger because of the situation, environment that I grew up in. And of course, that led me to getting in a lot of trouble as a youth. I ended up in detention centers and youth programs and places that I'm not proud of,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of molds my story as of today. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, uh, part of my story today is because of those places as that I came from as a youth, working on a degree and working in those places that I came from as part of my story of giving back and letting the youth know, man, because I'm definitely a success story. A lot of people said I wouldn't have made it this far, and I'm just here giving back and letting people know, you could be better in life. And I'm just here to give back and show
Yeah.
people you could do whatever you put your mind to. It doesn't matter how old you are. So
Yeah, and hey, man, not too many people can say that they're willing to step into the ring at 49 years old and take a match on. And here you are doing it. Prior to your match, how long were you training?
all right, so I've never been in a boxing ring before. Prior to last year, through Instagram and my influence in the community, I woke up one day to a message from Damon Feldman, the owner of Celebrity Boxing. He said, "Yo, man, I love your story. I'm trying to revamp Celebrity Boxing. We'd like you to come out and fight on the card. Would you be interested?" And of course, I said yes, but I've never had any true training as a boxer. So for my very first fight with them, I think I trained for 27 days in the ring,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, was there you like you said you had a upbringing where getting into conflict was you were no stranger to. So how did that? Do you feel like that maybe gave you a little edge up than going into your training? Like you weren't starting from ground zero, is what I'm saying.
I wasn't starting from ground zero. Of course, I've been in street scraps and stuff like that growing up and throughout my life in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
We're rowdy. We're a little bit rowdy. Um, I actually started doing boxing as part of my weight loss journey. I was 400 pounds.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I was just coming off of a knee injury. The weight was somebody suggested doing boxing fitness, and I had gotten my start with LA Boxing, which is old, man. We're going like 15 years
Yeah.
back. They were eventually bought out by the UFC gym. So I was there part of that switch over as well. But I mainly used it as to lose weight. It wasn't to fight or any of that. When you go to gyms like that, they actually don't teach you how to fight. They
Right.
teach you it's more for fitness. You're moving around fitness. So
Cardio, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. Well, let's rewind a little bit. You mentioned that you said you were 400 pounds, man, and you don't look like
yeah,
it now. So you definitely made quite the transformation. But
yes,
what led you to that 400 pound like weight limit, bro? I'm only asking because at one point I was over 300 pounds myself. I've lost,
yeah,
120 pounds, just to look how I look right now.
yeah,
And I know like the mental state that I was in when I was at weight. I know what led me to that. A lot of that had to do with past trauma, like you kind of touched on a little bit, rough upbringing and stuff like that. So I found outlets in, drugs, alcohol, food, living fast, stuff like that, not taking care of my body. And
yeah.
by not taking care of your body, it really affects you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So yeah, man, what was some of that journey like?
Yeah, that's exactly. I was always in good shape, coming from the
Mhm.
Marine Corps and afterwards, and I had an injury.
Ah,
I had a knee injury, a severe knee injury.
did you get that in
Um,
the service?
no, that was post service. It was just an accident that happened where I literally tore my whole knee, the ACL, MCL, PCL, my kneecap. I tore the entire knee, and I had to have cadaver ligaments put in there. So I was in this long brace. I had to have the cadaver ligaments mend. It took a long time, and I was laying in bed, man. I was eating Taco Bell,
Yep, that'll do it.
you know,
Been there.
and that's what really started putting the weight on. And then, of course, you get depressed. I was never on hard drugs or any of that stuff, strictly cannabis for me, but alcohol, definitely there
Hmm.
were times I was drinking a lot back then. And of course, that is a depressant, and that all plays into part of that as well. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you
So,
know.
when you were going through this weight loss journey, I mean, was there a particular thing that may have happened that like hit you one day where you're like, you know what, man, I'm done being this weight. I'm ready to start, or was it like a gradual thing where you kind of just chipped away at it little by little?
It's a combination of things. All right. I was starting to go in and out of the hospital, for medical issues. Blood pressure was so high.
Mhm.
I was having trouble breathing. I had apnea at night. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't really get up and walk around without feeling like I was dying. And then, of course, I was a shift supervisor for a drug rehab for the locked up youth. And man, the locked up youth today, they're not easy. And it was a lot of embarrassing moments. A lot of name calling from those
I was gonna
kids,
say
man.
these kids got jokes.
They got these kids got jokes today. But listen, uh, you know, as sad as I was hearing some of that stuff, we're not listening to you, fat ass, or as hurtful as some of that stuff was, it was an eye opener, and I appreciate those kids. It was kind of work. It was a two-way street. Those kids. They made me want to get up
Mhm.
and hit that gym and become something better. But at the same time, I also wanted to show them, hey, I'm here to show you guys that you can do anything that you put your minds to. It's just like you. I'm somebody that someone gave up on.
Mhm.
I've sat in the same seats as you. I've heard the same stuff that people have said to you guys. You're never going to be nothing. You're going to sit in a detention center your whole lives. You're going to be in prison. And I'm glad that I'm able to 15 years later, they're still watching me. I still stay in touch
Mhm.
with a lot of them. And it's like, big bro, we're so proud of you.
Yeah,
And we're learning from you. And that's what I'm doing this for.
I mean, that's quite the mission you have, and talk about motivation. I don't think there's any greater motivation than trying to help the next generation and help those younger than you, and you're trying to give back. So I feel like that right there gives you a sense of purpose. And when you have a sense of purpose, like your mission becomes easy. It's just this is who I am now, and this is what I do. So again, kudos to you for stepping up and trying to be a mentor for these individuals that maybe don't have a lot of mentorship in their life and they don't have a lot of
Yeah.
positive role models. And you stepping into that role, it probably is everything to them. I mean, to some of them, man. And I can see how that keeps you on track too, because it's like, hey, I have the responsibility of others, not just myself. And
Yeah.
that's awesome being able to take that on. So 27 days. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and I was gonna say, my hat's off to you as well on your weight loss. A lot of people don't understand just, losing 10, 15 pounds just to fit. I always use this analogy to fit into wedding clothes.
Mhm.
There were a couple of times where I was in the wedding party, and I just, man, I just felt so out of place. I felt like the elephant in the room. And it's tough losing 10 pounds. So I commend
Mhm.
anybody that's on any type of weight loss journey. It's not easy. So my hat's off to you. And I know you do the same thing. And I know we'll talk about your school as well, but getting in there and being a mentor and giving back. It's my number one purpose. A lot of people use this social media for things to hype themselves up. I'm just out here trying to get my story out here,
Mhm.
so other people aren't. There was a time where I wanted to be dead. I was 400 pounds. I couldn't breathe. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be dead.
Mhm.
And fast forward 10 years later, I'm on the scrapyard. I'm on celebrity boxing. I'm doing things that I used to dream of doing. And I just want to show people, man, there's still life, man, a lot of life left.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I love to. So I've done martial arts since I was 12 years old, and I'm 37 now, about to turn 38 next year. So it's been a huge part of my life, and I haven't always been the greatest martial artist, practitioner. Like I said, a lot of those traditional martial arts, they emphasize on honor, integrity, on all these like key words, and I really do respect those meanings and what that instilled in me. But it doesn't mean that I was always the most perfect at it throughout my life, you know. But I've always been able to go back to martial arts and that foundation as like a hub, and it's always been you know, kind of like a guidebook to help me through life. And once
Yeah.
I was able to kind of relate a lot of my, you know, trauma and situations that I'm dealing with in life to martial arts, things started to make more sense to me. And a lot of what I try to do is try to, like I said, show my students what I've learned through life and what I've learned through martial arts, and teach them a lifestyle, not just teach them a technique or teach them, you know, how to be a competitor, but actually how to be a better human being. And I think that
Yeah.
that's the one of the greatest things that martial arts can teach an individual is it doesn't just teach you how to be like a badass, but it teaches you how to be a better person or a better version of yourself. And yeah, I think that's anybody that's willing to step into that mentorship role and try to pass that on in a positive way. I mean, that right there is commendable, man. So for you again being in that position, it's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
When you took on this match, or you decided to take this match on with celebrity boxing with only 27 days of training,
Yes.
what was going through your mind as you got closer to this match? Because I know all about like those pre-match nerves and all that. I what were you going through?
All right, so I'm going to tell you this, and what you know, a lot of people, you know, they might not believe it. They might believe it. I had zero nerves going into this thing, even up into the moment where it was behind the curtain. For me, it's just like go time. I'm just ready to go out there and do the thing, and I think that was the problem. You know, having no boxing training. I'm going to tell these people something. You know, you read in the comments on these YouTube fights, and people are like, "Oh, you should have did this and that." It's a, you know, being in a street fight and getting in a fight at the bar downtown,
Mhm.
you know, with your bros, and getting into an actual ring boxing. It takes skills, man. There's skills to this.
Yeah.
And, you know, my first trainer, you know, during those 27 days, he said, man, I can't believe you did this. I almost don't want to coach you. You bit off a little more than you could chew. And I definitely got humbled. It was a humbling experience. I went out there uh, with no butterflies, and I got into that ring, and I got humbled. You know, I didn't do bad,
Yeah.
but I got humbled. I'm not a boxer. I'm getting into a ring with somebody that was the champion, or you know, this guy had like 13, 14, 15 fights. You know,
Yeah. And you're
um,
right, there is that learning curve too, because it's not like a street fight. Street fights are usually, you know, less than 30 seconds. It's like one or two hits. Fight should be
yeah,
done. You know, you're not trying to have a match in the street. There's
yeah,
so many other factors. And when you're in a ring, you're going against a trained individual, somebody that's
yeah,
trained specifically for you. And
right.
you know, like you said, they've been doing this probably for a while. And plus, you have a set of rules. So it's a game too. So it takes experience.
It
There's
was
little things, man.
it
Yeah.
it was you know, and you know, when I got there, it was crazy, you know, because celebrity boxing, you know, some people were like, ah, how's he on celebrity boxing? Celebrity boxing was being rebooted. You
Hmm.
know, I was one of the featured fights just as an influencer and ambassador. You know, I have this energy to me, man. I always bring the crowd. It was kind of funny listening to my opponent's story. We'll get into that for the Street Beast fight, listening to the lore of my opponent, you
Yeah,
know.
we're talking about
Um,
that here next for
we're
sure.
going to talk about that here next because of the lure, but you know, celebrity boxing, I was a part of their rebranding, restructuring. I'm a personality in itself. For me to reside down in Florida and for them to bring me all the way up to Philadelphia and to fight for Harris Casino, you know, was definitely a great experience and should just, you know, let people know the kind of personality that I am. But
Man, that
uh,
is awesome, bro.
I do refer to them as the celebrity D-list boxing. Now, of course, I've made it to the Scrapyard. You know, I'm on a different platform now, but
Definitely.
I am I'm forever grateful for the experience, of course, and that's led me to the next dream. And we're here, baby, the
Mhm.
Scrapyard.
How did you hear about the scrapyard? Let's start there.
Okay, so I've been following the Scrapyard forever. If you look at Stoner Bro Flex, I have two profiles, and then my personal profile. I've been following you guys forever. That's how I associated Street Beefs. You know, when I heard of Street Beefs, to me it was the Scrapyard. You
You're not
know,
alone
so
there. Trust me, you're not alone.
you know, a lot of people, you know, the Street Beefs have been around forever. And even though Street Beefs is gone from the name, it's the Scrapyard. We still handle Street Beef the same. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that still holds true. I mean, the scrapyard is made to handle beefs like gentlemen, which is
yeah,
again. Why don't you walk us through? Let's get your perspective on what the beef was all about, because that's how we ended up meeting. So
yeah.
walk us through that. Tell us from the get what
You
happened.
know, you know what it was? I don't know if it was the combination of cannabis and the super cold, rainy weather of Washington over there. But when I look back at the lore and I heard this guy's story, I don't know if it's the cheap malt liquor or the cheap true leaf cannabis this guy's smoking. But the story definitely wasn't what he had said for that. And that was a problem, part of the problem with celebrity D-list boxing. It's more of like WWE style soap opera, dramatic, you know, and I think that was the problem with me. I like to be real. And I think maybe I was a little too real for that platform. But anyway, man, this,
Want to sell fights, you know, that's
yeah,
part of it. Yeah.
and I get it. And I like doing that. So, you know, I understand it. You know, but this guy Gypsy, he tried his luck down in Florida here. You know, he wasn't doing too good. He was, you know, panhandling down here, and he didn't have money to get up to his celebrity boxing fight. So he said, "Yo, Flex, can I borrow the money? You can be my corner man." And I went up there, and it's just funny. I was his corner man, and it was his first fight that he ever won on celebrity boxing. You know, this guy said
Lucky charm, huh?
yo, listen, man, that guy's a good storyteller. I actually sent him a message. He was after our fight on Scrapyard. He was telling people I knocked him down multiple times. I'm gonna be the champ next. And you know, if you look back now, if you go look for that post now, that post is gone. He took that post down. Yeah, he didn't knock me down not one time. So
this is actually a perfect opportunity. Those of you that would love to see this match, I'm going to post the link right here in the comments. So follow it. Check it out. It's on the Scrapyard YouTube channel. It was just posted like a week ago. Brand new. Type in Stoner Bro Flex and it'll come up, or follow this link right here.
Now, you know what it is? As far as the fight goes, people are going to watch the fight. I'm disappointed in myself just because I know, watching back, I know that I could have done better. It's all a learning experience, you know. I'm not a pro. I'm a true level one. When I wrote level one down on that paper, I'm a true level one. You know, I've never had real fighting training. And then even prior to this fight, I hopped into a new fight camp that I'm a part of down here in Miami. Shout out to F.A.W.B Boxing. That's my new fight camp.
That's what's up, man. Nice
I have
name, too.
You know, and it's just funny, man. The higher power comes into your life as well when you least expect it. And, you know, every day I wake up to messages from Coach Joel. You know, he's always posting something from the higher power. It's a positive fight camp. My little brothers and sisters there that fight, I'm learning so much, and they're warriors and they're champions and they're winning fights, they're amateur fights. So
love it.
I'm finally getting real boxing training, and you know, I'm curious to see what I'm going to look like in 6 months, and we'll talk about the future as well.
For sure. Well, let's finish up on what led you into this match and the beef that started out. This guy needed a ride up there.
All right,
he asked you to corner him. You gave him.
Yeah, he asked me to corner him. I give him money. I had a fallout. All right, so here's the true story. You know, every story has three sides: my side, his side, and the damn truth. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't talk too more off truth. You know. And anything that I talk about, I can definitely back up. You know, I'm not some shit talker. I'd like to believe I'm one of the realest in the game. You know, I take pride on that. So, I had a falling out with celebrity boxing. They had this Ric Flair card that was coming up. The big boss man had me going back and forth. So now I'm wasting my time, my energy. I'm doing a lot of promotion for them.
Mm-hmm.
I realize they don't have real followers. All their followers are fake followers, and if you don't believe me, go look at their posts. Look at the bottom, 50,000 likes, but 3 comments, and
Yeah.
the 3 comments are coming from their people. So it's like, I feel like they had me going back and forth using my time, my energy, my persona to get them real likes, real following. And when I showed up for my fight out there, I literally had the most tickets. I was second in line for the tickets. I brought almost 100 people with me. I'm not even
Wow.
from that state. I'm
Yeah.
not even from that state,
Yeah.
So I feel like they did me dirty. The boss man, I call him the Botox boss now. And I feel like through my fallout with them, they had Gypsy. They used this guy as bait because they knew we were cool. And I feel like they used him for food for their champion. So their last fight, they're like, yo, F this Lex guy. I don't care if you owe him money. F him. Talk smack about him online. We're going to give you the match on the Ric Flair card with the champion.
The
And
dark
that
side of the business, man. Yeah.
the dark side of the business. So, and I'm not going to trash talk too much. Obviously,
Oh, yeah,
I get into the ring and I back up. I'm not afraid of anybody, man. Obviously. So this Gypsy guy's going back and forth in the messages and talking smack, and I'm not paying you back, and you're a nobody, and your coach smacked you, and this and that, and I get it. You have somebody down on their luck, drinking cheap malt liquor, whatever the case may be, and I'm not going to knock anybody for what they are, but
yeah, I used to drink Old English myself, man. Come on.
I'm not. That's again part of the promo back and forth between me and him. That's what led up to the street beef.
Of course.
I reached out to the chat and I said, yo guys, I've been here for a minute. How do I fight somebody on the card? And immediately Fire Chicken reached out, man, and it was so awesome. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, but
yeah. And then you showed up. So
I showed up.
What was kind of like your insight and your experience with the yard? Like, kind of give the audience a bit of the vibe there,
All right, so I show up and I've watched it for years. Of course, especially through COVID times. We're all stuck in the house. So to see it live on TV, on YouTube, and then to show up in person, man, it was like an out of body experience. It's just a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
You park your car, you see other fighters. Nobody knows each other. There were a lot of first timers there.
They're wild.
So of course, it's kind of cool. Even though you're the new kid on the block, you're not the new kid on the block. And it was just cool meeting up with everybody. It's like, yo, everyone can go in now, and everyone's taking that walk that walk together through the yard, seeing the ring, seeing the trailers in the back, seeing where they film the live stream, seeing all the fighters lined up, all the new guys, everyone's looking around. The people that have been around for a while, they're there, and you could tell, no nerves. And
did you feel like maybe you had any misconceptions about the yard prior to you showing up? Did you have any thoughts that maybe this might be a dangerous atmosphere? This may be maybe not as welcoming as it is. And
I'm not gonna. I've been in a lot of places in my lifetime. I'm not really too afraid of just showing up places. True. I think the conversation between Fire Chicken, Mandy Bear, of course, you're interacting with people from the chat. So I felt like, okay, I believe I'm going to be safe. The rules, you're not allowed to bring people. You're allowed a +1. So you know what time it is. You feel like you kind of have an advantage. You have your +1, so
that's good.
And then walking through, and when you see everyone and everyone starts vibing in the parking lot, you're like, oh, okay, man, this is perfect. I'm good here. You get inside, you see the security, the staff, a medical staff there. They're going around, they're checking people already, IDs. You feel safe medically. You feel safe, and once you're inside and you're meeting everybody, you're good to go. So.
Yeah, man. I feel the same way, bro. I mean, I can't express enough how what a wonderful community the Scrapyard is. And it's growing more and more every event. We're getting new faces every event. More people are hearing about it, and it's really pulling away from that kind of like I said, misconception of what like backyard fighting is, because I've been involved in backyard fighting prior to the Scrapyard, where it was like there's betting happening on the side. It's a sketchy thing. There's no med tent. Some people are bringing their own equipment. They're not being sponsored by Cage HKA.
Yeah.
It's very shady. But yeah, at the Scrapyard, I mean, the events are run, I want to say, on par, or if not better than most amateur events out there. And give it up to Fire Chicken and Mandy Bear for creating such an event and a community that's so welcoming for individuals, and it allows you guys to go out there and handle your beef like men.
I, I'm actually I came at a time where those two were going through a little bit of a rough time. You know, prior to my event, there was a little bit of drama going on in the community. And, I met them in person, those two in person. And I'm going to tell you, Fire Chicken is one of the coolest brothers that I've met. I've met so many people. I'm coast to coast now. I've been over to Europe too. I've met so many people in my lifetime. And he's definitely one of the he's one of the coolest brothers that I've come across. And Mandy Bear is just as fantastic. And, they put on an excellent show over there. It's professionally done. They have staff, professional medical tent. I took a hard hit in my fight, man. They made sure I was good, and even going out of their way to meet me the next day at my hotel. And we kicked it. We had fun. We talked about the future. So they are definitely first class people. And I appreciate them just allowing me to bring my personality to their organization.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I love that too. And like I said, they are great. 100% there, man.
Yeah.
Getting back to your match though. We get to the match. You guys had your beef. Now we're in the cage. What's going through your mind, man? Like, you're across the ring from this guy. Now you're gonna have the ability to get your hands on him. You finally get to hit him. I'm in there too. I'm looking at you guys. I feel I always feel like the vibe of what the match is gonna be like when you guys are at that face off. And I felt like there was a lot of tension right there at that face off. I'm in a onesie, so I'm thinking maybe we're gonna joke around here. No joking. It was not even a glove touch. You guys were ready to go, man. So yeah, what was going through your head?
Well, you know what it is for me? It's, I like promotion, of course, right? But there's a difference between promotion and shit talking. When you got somebody trolling you constantly, I'm not about that life. I don't like the trolls like that. If you're a self-proclaimed fighter, and I mean, you heard his intro. This guy's had like 30 fights, martial arts. He named like 10 different things that he's been doing over the last 10 years. Me, I don't have any of that, so, and it took a while. Like, he was ducking me. He would just talk shit. And I said, yo, come to my gym. This is when he was in my state. He wouldn't show up in my state. So, I was just getting a little hot about it. When he showed up there, I was cool, of course.
You guys were very professional. There was no bullshit outside the ring. That's what we love about having you guys out. You guys handled it in the ring like gentlemen. Yeah.
I'm used to, I'm a professional. I get this, man. Again, I'm glad that he was professional when he got there, but when the mic comes on and you're telling stories that aren't true, I was definitely heated, man. I really wanted to switch the match up to an MMA fight. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but definitely heated. I was ready. When we went in there and we had our face off and we were looking at each other across the ring, I was ready to go. So
yeah. And here's the thing, after, I just watched your match again today prior to us getting on here. And bro, you were throwing some heat. Right there at the end of that first round, you throw a big haymaking number 4. And if that thing would have connected, bro, I guarantee it probably would have been lights out, because that thing was coming freaking hard and fast. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. It just seemed like from my perspective, it just like you said, it was a lack of experience versus somebody that was a little bit more experienced. He stayed a little bit tighter and he had a little bit of endurance thing. But again, you get that with experience. And I think that's really all it was. I think if you guys were to run this thing back after, give you like 6 months of training, I think we're gonna have a different outcome.
Yeah, well, it was a combination of that. Of course, as you know, it was raining out there.
Mm-hmm.
We were slipping, and I'm not going to use it
Slip.
as an excuse. People are going to watch the fight, but as you could clearly see, beginning of the third round, I slipped, hit my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly, man, I mean, you could see it in the video, and you're like, "Are you ready to fight?" Of course, I go by the biggest broski here. You're never going to see me ever throw in the towel or quit. And I said, "Yo, I'm ready to continue." But when you said, "Let's go," I don't think, I wasn't. I still had a little bit of cobwebs going, and I tried my best after that. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I did better than I did in celebrity boxing. They were 1 minute rounds.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Stoner Bro Flex. I smoke large amounts of cannabis. I run through my 5 ounces of rec every month here in the medical cannabis community, plus some. You know, I lasted all 3 rounds.
You did.
I'm over there out west. I'm in the mountains. I'm in the freezing rain. It was freezing rain. I'm not. There were elements, and I'm not using that as an excuse at all.
Mm-hmm.
All as it has done has prepared me for the next time.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah.
I know what to expect. I have a real fight camp, and that's my plan right now. I have 6 months till my next fight. I'm going to show back up to Seattle Street Beast April. It's going to be my 50th birthday. I'm going to be stepping into the ring around my 50th birthday, and I'm going to put on a show like no other. I'm going to put the cannabis down these next 6 months. I'm training with F.A.W.B. They are a legit fighting club, and I plan on coming out there looking like a boxer. On the
I
next
can't
fight.
wait to see this in the next level that you get to, bro. Like I said, I'm ecstatic about it. Honestly, I thought you did a really good job for it being, the second match. You said for it being your second match, I thought you did phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing at all to hang your head about, bro. It was a really good match, and it was really back and forth. I count those. What was it? Knockdowns. If anybody's to watch it, they weren't knockdowns. Like I was there, they were slips. I'll say it again.
Slipped.
I even said slip. Said slip. It was raining out there. You're on turf. That's what it was. It was a good exchange back and forth. And I thought it was a great match. Honestly, it was really good. Let's talk a little bit about this company, Cookies, man. How did you become an ambassador? What's it all about?
All right. Well, Cookies is a medical cannabis company here in Florida. I mean, they're throughout the whole world, but I represent for TRP. They own Cookies Florida down here, and I just represent the patients, I'm one of Florida's first brand ambassadors back when the medical program first started. I got my start with other brands. Cookies was just one of my favorites, and doing my work throughout the community is what led me here. But I represent a lot of different brands as well. Big shout out to Big Pete's Treats. They're a company out there on the West Coast. Some of the greatest taste in edibles. And hopefully we'll get some of that flowing. Now, you guys are in a legal state,
Yes, we're all the West Coast, I believe, is legal.
So hopefully on the next one, I'm going to get some Big Pete's Treats over there in your state. Hopefully try to get them involved. So,
heck yeah.
I'm originally from Jersey. I go out there, represent the cannabis community there. I do the cannabis culture. I was a host for the culture films, the film festival. I do music festival in New York. I'm a part of some crazy events. For the cannabis community, but Cookies is what gives me my platform here in Florida. I love them to death. Without them, I wouldn't even be as known as I am now. And I forever love them and my connection. And of course, we have the most fire cannabis here in the Sunshine State. All right,
man. Well, let's talk a little bit of cannabis then. What's your favorite strain?
Oh, there's so many. I go for indicas. I'm a veteran. I
Mm-hmm.
am a Marine Corps veteran. I do have PTSD, anxiety, insomnia. That's just some of the stuff that I'm diagnosed with. So, since having my card, I do not drink alcohol anymore. I think I'm going on almost 10 years since I've had alcohol. And the cannabis is
Congratulations
just,
on that, by the way. Congratulations.
yeah, I appreciate that. You as well, and that's what I try to do down here. I'm trying to, we're a medical state, and I try to help the patients down here. A lot of veterans, man, alcohol. A lot of veterans are addicted to alcohol. In the military, I was in at 18. You're allowed to drink on base. They have clubs there. They encourage that, and so many of our brothers and sisters, have substance abuse issues because of that.
Mhm.
So I like to work hand in hand with those guys and get them to switch over from the alcohol to the medical cannabis. That has been working for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are. I'm here to break the stigma.
Hmm.
I come from all sides of the spectrum. I come from being an alcoholic father, being abused. I've been in the programs. I've sat in AA. I've had my own issues with alcohol in the past.
Hmm.
You know, um, and I'm here to show people. I'm here to break a stigma that I have a degree in addictions counseling, and I'm trying to break this stigma and let people know that there's nothing wrong with this cannabis, man. It's saving people.
Yeah.
Not just alcoholics. There's people that have issues with other substances,
Hmm.
opiates, heroin,
Blow.
and
Nose candy. Yep.
nose candy. It's helping people. There's people whose lives are coming back on track because of cannabis,
Hmm.
and I'm out here promoting it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean, again, man, you're on a mission and you're doing wonderful things, not only
yeah.
for like I said, the youth, but you're also helping your brothers and sisters that were in the military and they're struggling. And I know that there's a lot of military veterans out there that once they get out, it's almost like, they're kind of forgotten by a lot
Yeah.
of the service and the medical industry, and they need help. So for you to kind of, again, fill that role of being somebody that's going to be there for them in their time of need. Yeah, I commend you for that, man. That's really awesome.
And that's another reason why I rock with cookies as well. They do a lot for the veteran community. Toys for Tots is coming up. They're really big with the Toys for Tots. They've sponsored me. I throw my own Feed the Homeless events. Me and my friends here in Florida, they've sponsored stuff like that. So another reason why I love them so much, and I'm just so grateful that they've given me their platform to do what I do. And again, same thing for you guys. Allow me to tell my story and share my stuff on your platforms, the Scrapyard, and Forever White Belt, which I'm going to
Oh,
be.
thank you. Yeah, of
You
course.
know,
Hey, man,
yeah.
it's more than a rank. It's a mindset too, and I encourage it because I'm the same way, man. I'm always trying to learn from anyone. Even though I've been doing martial arts for forever, it feels like majority of my life. Uh, Everybody teaches me something, and sometimes it's not just like a physical technique. Sometimes it's a mental trait, an emotional trait. I mean, I find inspiration from individuals like yourself that are out there and, grinding and helping others. I look at that, I'm like, man, I would like to do that too. I want to emulate those traits because I find those to be an honorable thing. And, I think that that's all part of martial arts. Like I said,
Yeah.
I always translate everything back to that. So you're definitely living the warrior lifestyle. It doesn't always mean like I said, fighting and combat. I mean, there's things outside of that as well. So
No, this has become this has become a part of my life now. It goes beyond just trying to be on the scrapyard or be on a YouTube.
mm,
You know, for me now, it's become this passion. Again, I turned 50 soon.
mm.
This has become a passion. I want to see how far I could take it myself.
Yeah. And how far are
I'm
we looking to take that, man? Let's talk about that for a second. Tell us some of the future goals here.
All right. Well, like you said, that was my plan before you even said it. So,
Perfect.
6 months, I'm going to be down here with
Uh-huh.
F.A.W.B boxing. I am locked and loaded. I've been putting in 2 a days. I've been training four times a week
Easy.
because I take this serious. My fight camp, they're all winners. We just had some fights a couple weekends ago. They all won. They're winners.
Mhm.
So I want to be a good representation myself. So, I'm taking this serious. I'm going to fly out there to you guys, April 420 weekend. Of course, my birthday. I believe the fights are or last weekend of the month.
That's
And I'm
what's
going to
up.
come out there and I'm going to box, man. It's not going to be this brawling stuff that you just saw. I plan on coming in there and looking like a boxer.
Mm.
I want to take this serious and I want to show people what training can do. What you put your mind to, you become. And
Hell
yeah, that
yeah,
is my
man.
plan.
That's a great plan. Well, as a fellow tourist, I can't wait to see you. My birthday's April 28th. So
Yo,
we're
let's
right
go.
there, bro. Heck yeah.
Well,
And if you need a corner, man, I got you. I'm
I
not
want
going
you
to
to.
rep the next one. Just
Okay, don't
warning
ref
you.
the next one though. If you want to ref the next one, you can do whatever you want. You want to be a
Ah,
part of it. I'd love that. We will celebrate our birthdays together. I plan on
perfect.
having a big birthday cake at the Scrapyard, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's wonderful, bro. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and, sharing your story with us and giving us a little bit more insight into Stoner Bro Flex, bro. I mean, keep on with the mission. Where can the people find you?
Well, I am on Instagram, stonerbro.flex. The cannabis community on Instagram, they keep closing our pages down. I had to work really hard on not posting any content so that I don't
Mm,
lose my page anymore. I'm trying to build this up and show people my story. But stonerbro.flex on Instagram, stonerbroflex on Facebook. And I'm out here, man.
it's out here.
I'm here to motivate. Anybody wants some motivation, weight loss, just life stuff, man, hit me up. I'm here for you.
Yeah. One more thing before I let you go. What piece of advice would you give anybody that's looking to start their weight loss journey?
That's a good one. For me, it was excuses. I've been on this 10-year journey pretty much by myself. Before it used to be like, hey, let's go to the gym, you would depend on somebody. Then
Mm,
when they didn't show up, it would give you the okay to not show up. And if Joe Schmo's not showing up, I'm not showing up. The biggest piece of advice that I can give is just get in there and do it. Don't depend on anybody else.
mhm.
You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. That's my slogan. You could do anything that you put your mind to. You just got to believe in yourself, believe in yourself. And that's pretty much it.
That's it. Yeah, that's a wonderful message, man. I like to tell my guys the same thing. I mean, it's great to have a team around you and have that support, but when you step into the ring, you're stepping in there alone, man, and you got to be your number one cheerleader in there. So having that self confidence and believing in yourself, like you said, it'll take you very far.
Yeah.
So again, Stoner Bro Flex, you're a man that wears a lot of hats. So I'm gonna let you get back to your Saturday. I appreciate you again, man, for taking the time and doing the podcast with me. And I can't wait to see you come April, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you so much. And everything that you do as well over there, mentoring with your gym, and of course the sobriety and everything else. You guys are great over there. Big shout out to Fire Chicken, Mandy, the whole Scrapyard fam. I love you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next time in the ring. And of course, all my friends and family watching coast to coast. All right, much love and respect.
That's what's up. All right, bro. Take it easy, Stoner, bro. Thank you again, man.
All right, I'll see you soon, Nate.
See you, man. Bye. Oh man, what an awesome individual. That dude, that's the kind of person you want out there helping people, man. Someone that's lived a life, has had experiences, good and bad, and he's able to give you some real life insights. Shout out to Stoner Bro Flex again. Thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with us, man. Yeah, that was a great episode. A couple more shout outs here. Shout out to the Reptilian Top Team and everybody over at Columbia River Jiu Jitsu. We had an awesome night last night at Open Mat, Friday Night Free for All. We do it every week from 5 to 7 p.m. If you'd like to stop in and get some training with me this week, I will be at the gym on Wednesday from 5 to 7, as well as Friday 5 to 7. So reach out to me. Let's train together, guys. Also, like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, give us a subscribe. We're looking to grow, and every subscription helps a lot. Next podcast will be tomorrow night. I'll be on Kicking It with Chicken tomorrow at 7 p.m. Tune into that, where we talk about the last event that happened over the past weekend at the Scrapyard. And there was a lot of bangers at event, guys. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 so we can go over that. I believe we're going to be talking about potentially the fighter of the year and a lot more stuff on what's to come and how we're going to finish out the year at the Scrapyard. So be sure to turn into that. And also a real big shout out to the Road Dogs. The Road Dogs. They know who they are. You guys have been killing it on COD. Keep going. Remember, hungry dogs run fast. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. And I'll see you guys later. Take it easy, y'all.